When did you become the very thing you swore to destroy? When I was a kid, all I wanted was to be a police officer. My name's Alex, and some of my earliest memories are sitting in front of the TV watching cops reruns with my dad, fascinated by the flashing lights, the sense of authority, the idea of serving and protecting. While other kids dreamed about being astronauts or professional athletes, I wanted the badge. Through high school, that dream only grew stronger. I stayed out of trouble, never touched drugs, never even had so much as a detention. I was the kid who tutored classmates, volunteered for neighborhood cleanups, the one teachers trusted to collect papers at the end of class. I thought if I played my cards right, everything would line up. College was my first big step. I majored in political science, minored in legal studies and criminal justice. I studied harder than I ever thought I could, imagining that every late night at the library was one step closer to the academy. By the time I graduated, I already had a folder full of certificates, glowing recommendation letters from professors, and a GPA I was proud of. I didn't stop there. I went for my master's in criminal justice, specializing in criminal law. I wanted to be overqualified, someone no agency could turn down. When it came time to apply, I thought I was ready. The testing process was brutal. Physical tests, written exams, psychological evaluations. But I passed them all, not just passed, but scored in the top 5 at every single agency. I was lean, strong, mentally sharp, and had never so much as jaywalked. I thought the calls offering me a spot would start rolling in any day. They didn't. Instead, I started getting letters. Short, polite, vague. Thank you for your application. We regret to inform you denied. Again and again. Every department, every agency. I would watch classmates who had lower scores, even questionable records, get accepted. Guys who admitted to smoking weed, getting into fights, who barely scraped through the fitness test. I sat in my apartment, letter after letter in my hands, trying to figure out what box I hadn't checked. I didn't stop trying. I applied to more, traveled for interviews, put myself through more tests. Same outcome. Denied. When law school became the next logical step, I told myself it was still a way in. If I couldn't serve as an officer, maybe I could be a prosecutor. I dove into classes with the same energy, focusing on criminal law. I applied for an internship at the district attorney's office while still in law school. Denied. It stung, but I kept going. I passed the bar on my first try, confident that the DA's office couldn't ignore me now. With my record, my education, my spotless background, I thought this was it. This was my way to finally serve, to finally be the person I had always wanted to be. The letter came. Denied. I sat there in my small apartment, staring at the words, trying to process them. No matter how many doors I knocked on, none of them opened. Every path I had built my life around had been shut. That's when the irony hit. With all the student loans piling up, the bills I couldn't keep dodging, I had to take work wherever I could find it. The first steady job that landed in my lap, a criminal defense attorney position at a small firm run by a man named Carlos. At first, I thought of it as temporary, just something to hold me over until I found another opening with the DA's office or some agency. But weeks turned into months. The cases kept coming in. I found myself defending people I once imagined I'd be putting away. I cross-examined officers, challenged evidence, fought for deals. I became the voice on the other side of the courtroom. It wasn't lost on me how much this clashed with my childhood dream. I had wanted to put on a uniform, stand on the side of law and order. Instead, I was the one raising doubts, pointing out flaws, arguing for the accused. I'd sit at my desk late at night, shaking my head at the twist my life had taken. The thing is, I'm good at it. That surprised me the most. I learned how to pick apart sloppy police work, how to stand my ground against prosecutors who had once been the role I dreamed of holding. I learned to see people not just as criminals, but as complicated, flawed human beings with stories behind their actions. Now, years later, I look back at the path that led me here and laugh at the irony. I spent my entire life trying to become the one thing, cop, prosecutor, that would stand against the people I now defend every day. Every door that slammed in my face shoved me toward the other side of the aisle. I became exactly what I swore I never would, a criminal defense attorney. And the strangest part is, I can't even imagine myself doing anything else.